Anyway, it's time to talk about a subject that Rebecca has had a lot of trouble mastering, and that's toilet training. And our good friend Gary Dierenfeld is here.
Well, Jamie.
Our resident social worker. Good morning, Gary.
You won't let me get a word in.
Good morning, but before we get to the toilet training, you know that this is your Sunday brunch, and I want to tell you what I made this morning.
Oh,
right.
Go ahead.
Please.
I made this wonderful chicken and cheese omelet, little bit of barbecue sauce in it. It was the leftover chicken from last night's dinner, and let me tell you, marvelous.
Wow.
See, Jamie, you can have chicken for breakfast. I try to tell him these things, Gary.
Yeah, Rebecca, it's funny that you say that, Gary, because on our honeymoon in Algonquin Park, that's where we had our honeymoon, in a tent in Algonquin Park. You can tell times were a little tougher back then.
Yeah.
One morning I was laying there getting a little bit of extra snooze time, and I hear the tent zipper open. Zzz, she says, "Get up. We're having scrambled eggs and chicken for breakfast." So you
awesome.
And
Gary's is a bit more gourmet, and I've come
Absolutely.
a long way since those days. Come on, give me credit.
All right, well, it's time to take this show from gourmet right into the toilet and talk about toilet training. And just for clarification, before we get into the topic, Gary, this is not about training men to put the seat down or all of that stuff. This is something to do with children, of course.
Correct. But you know what? One of the same strategies for men works for boys, and that is to float a Cheerio in the toilet and let them take aim.
Oh, don't give him ideas, Gary.
Sure. You know, you got to make a bit of a game out of it. And you know, when we look at the trouble with toilet training, guys, the biggest trouble has nothing to do with the kids. It's always about us, the parents. We make too big a deal out of it.
So what do you
suggest? We should be able to have fun with it. And the degree to which children actually see mommy and daddy going to the toilet, it demystifies the whole process. It makes it less scary. It normalizes it. So those parents out there who haven't started the process yet, let your kid watch. Let your kid watch. It may sound gross. It may sound weird.
No.
But this gets them ready. And we talk it through. We say, I got to go to the bathroom. I'm going to put my pee-pees or my poo-poos in the toilet. And eventually what they want to do is mimic the parent. So there's very little training that overt training that needs to be done because it's all kind of subtle.
Right. And you just reassured all those moms and dads out there that didn't know if they should go to the washroom in front of their kids or not. Right? No, seriously.
Yes,
because
you can do that too in front of your children. That is not child abuse.
There you go. Okay.
Well, you know how sensitive people are.
Exactly.
I mean, people are really ultra fine-tuned to those types of things. So it's interesting to hear from an expert that it's okay.
And we're also going to be teaching about privacy. This is my body. That's your body.
Right.
I'm just showing you, this is how we go to the bathroom. Let's go to the bathroom. And then as the child gets old enough and they start expressing their own interest, and that's important. Don't you push the child. Wait for the child to express an interest. Then you can say, my turn, your turn, okay? And so the children come into this, again, as a bit of a game where we are taking turns. It is no longer a scary process. And it doesn't matter, quite frankly, if you get those rings that sit into the toilet or you get a separate potty and you can sit down at the same time with your child.
Yeah.
So here's the the $64,000 question. At what age are kids ready to be toilet trained? Is there some sort of an average out there? Give people some help with that because parents get pressured. They feel like if they go out into a room with other parents and somebody says, "Oh, guess what? Little Johnny's toilet trained now," and they're thinking, "Well, mine isn't." There's that pressure.
So I want to reassure all parents that your children will definitely be toilet trained before college.
Okay,
so
good.
let's take some of the pressure out of it. But in truth, guys, toilet training is typically achieved between 2 and 4 years of age. Right. Rarely do we hear, but we do hear some kids achieving it before 2 and less commonly after 4. But certainly there's a good percentage of children who actually don't fully achieve toilet training till in their 4th year of life. So there's tremendous variability, and that's what parents have to understand.
And that's
Some of
normal.
the issues that arise with toilet training, again, is when the parent is more anxious about this than the child is ready for this. And so it puts pressure on the child. And that child, in terms of managing the pressure, actually pinches their sphincter, they don't relax, then they get constipated. And
Right.
so, we want to avoid those scenarios where we create that kind of problem for our children. The other issue for children is when they haven't been prepared by watching Mommy and Daddy, and then they're supposed to sit on this great big thing to them we call a toilet. It's actually a very frightening appliance to a child. It makes a heck of a lot of noise, particularly when you're standing right by it. And relative to a child's height, it is the child's height.
Yeah.
And so that's why all that preparation, letting the parents be there, just sitting on it casually, reading a book with them, just prepares them gently for the process.
Interesting, Gary. How do people get a hold of you if they'd like to consult with you?
www.yoursocialworker.com. Tons of great information about my services, and also you'll find hundreds of articles about all these kinds of family life issues.
All right. Gary Dierenfeld, our resident social worker and your social worker, we appreciate your time this morning.
Aim for the
Have a
Cheerio.
wonderful Sunday. All right. I will, always.
Gary.
Thanks a lot. Take care, Gary.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
He's like gourmet chef, too.
Aim for the Cheerio.
Aim for
That's
the
going to be
Cheerio.
my new cut line. Aim
But
for the Cheerio.
How does that get you to put the toilet seat down? I didn't get that part.